Ever wondered how an invisible force like psychology can drive the tangible highs and lows of the stock market? Consider the stock market as a global brain. Every investor, every transaction is a neuron firing, shaping the overall thought process. It's not merely dealing with numbers and data, but also emotions. Here, psychology comes into play, affecting decisions and dictating market trends. Let's dive into the dot-com bubble of the millennium. Investors, caught up in the hype of the internet, heavily invested in tech firms. There was a frenzy born out of sheer excitement. The basis of this frenzy, the companies were new, with many not having significant revenues. Nonetheless, optimism, a psychological aspect, fueled the belief in massive returns. But as it does, reality intervened. The bubble burst. The Nasdaq Composite Index, brimming with these tech companies, crashed. By October 2002, it saw a fall of 77% from its peak. A stark reminder that unchecked emotions can lead to disastrous financial decisions. Now consider the role of fear. The global financial crisis of 2008 provides a vivid example of the power of fear. It was an unprecedented event that shook the world's financial institutions to their very core. As influential financial institutions teetered on the brink of collapse, a palpable sense of fear pervaded the entire market. This tangible dread was not merely confined to the boardrooms of Wall Street. It extended to every investor, big and small, who watched as their investments dwindled and their financial security was threatened. This intense fear sparked a frenzied rush among investors to offload their shares. This hasty selling led to a vicious, self-perpetuating cycle of plummeting share prices and increasing panic. Perfectly exemplified a phenomenon that psychologists term herding behavior. This is where individuals, driven by fear, instinctively mimic the actions of the majority. It leads to irrational decisions based solely on emotion rather than careful consideration of the facts. It was a classic case of what psychologists call herding behavior. The instinct to follow the crowd, especially when fear is in the air. And then there's overconfidence, an intriguing attribute frequently observed in the world of financial trading. Traders, fueled by a desire to outperform others, often fall into the trap of overconfidence. Convinced that they possess superior knowledge or skills, they tend to think they can outsmart the complex market mechanisms. This belief leads them to undertake high-risk ventures, pushing the boundaries of their investment strategies. They often misjudge the market volatility, and such judgment errors can make them vulnerable to severe financial mishaps. Foolishly placing too much faith in their abilities, they expose themselves to excessive risk without adequate preparation or understanding of the potential costs. And in this high-stakes game of financial trading, this overconfidence can often lead to substantial losses. So, what can we glean from all this? Emotions and psychological factors aren't just a human phenomenon. They hold sway in the stock market too. They may incite actions that defy logical explanations, inciting market anomalies like bubbles and crashes. Being cognizant of these psychological triggers can be a game changer for investors. It's about mastering emotions such as fear, greed, or overconfidence that can cloud our judgment. By acknowledging these emotions and learning to control them, investors can strive to make more considered, enlightened investment decisions. This ability to control our emotional responses, paired with a sound understanding of market dynamics, could be the key to making logical investment choices. And it's crucial to not forget, the stock market is more than just a hub of numbers. It's a dynamic, living entity, shaped by the shared psychological experiences of its participants. In closing, the next time you're about to make a decision in the stock market, I urge you to consider the psychology behind it. Ask yourself, is it a decision grounded in careful analysis, or is it fueled by fear, greed, or overconfidence? Understanding your motivations could be the key to successful investing. Analyze not only the market trends, but also your psychological tendencies. Implicit biases, emotional reactions, and personal beliefs be steering your decisions more than you realize. You might be falling prey to psychological traps without even noticing. Hence, it's crucial to introspect and understand your mental state before making financial decisions. Because at the end of the investing is not just about the numbers, it's also about the mind behind the money. Let's now turn our attention to some wisdom from one of the greatest investors of all time, Warren Buffett. He once stated, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." This quote summarizes the intersection of psychology and investing. It underscores that hasty decisions driven by biases tend to backfire. These words highlight the importance of patience and emotional control. They remind us being aware of our mindset can give us an edge in our investing journey.